Good evening. This is the Tibet Center, Kunchap Tarduling, a Buddhist meditation and study center located on Monday nights in New York City and on Wednesday night and all the time at our parsonage in South Orange, New Jersey. And this is our presentation of the Buddha Dharma. Specifically tonight we'll be starting a review of the Lamrim, selected, not going through the whole thing. I'm the classroom monitor, substituting for Venerable Vreeland. So the same program. We'll start with the prayer for the spreading of the teachings throughout the length and breadth of the West. If you're at home, you go on our website. If you want to view the prayers, go to the FAQ section and scroll down to prayers. You may pray along. We don't care. By the force of the blessings of the non-fallacious three precious gems and of the truth of our pure selfless wishes, may the precious Buddhist teachings flourish and spread to the expanse of all areas throughout the length and breadth of the West. For all the people living there, together with their near ones, who have engaged in the teachings and have faith and respect for them, may all conditions adverse to their practice of the pure Dharma be dispelled, and an excellent collection of favorable conditions increase like the waxing moon. And especially for those who work on methods to accomplish the flourishing and spreading of the victorious one's teachings, source of benefit and happiness, may they never be oppressed by masses of interference and adverse conditions, and may this spontaneously happen just as we have hoped and wished. The Heart Sutra. Thus have I heard once, the Blessed One was dwelling in the royal domain of the Vulture Peak Mountain, together with a big gathering of great monks and great bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One entered the Samadhi, which examines the Dharmas, called profound illumination. And at the same time, noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, looking at the profound practice of transcendent knowledge, saw the five skandhas and their natural emptiness. Then, through the inspiration of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said to Avalokiteshvara, how should those noble ones learn who wish to follow the profound practice of transcendent knowledge? And Avalokiteshvara answered, Venerable Shariputra, whoever wishes to follow the profound practice of transcendent knowledge should look at it like this, seeing the five skandhas in their natural emptiness. Form is empty. Emptiness itself is form. Emptiness is not separate from form. Form is not separate from emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discriminating awareness, compositional factors in consciousness are empty. Thus all the dharmas are empty and have no characteristics. They are unborn and unceasing. They are not impure or pure. They neither decrease nor increase. Therefore, since there is emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discriminating awareness, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no appearance, no sound, no smell, no taste, no sensation, no objects of mind, no quality of sight, no quality of hearing, no quality of smelling, no quality of tasting, no quality of sensing, no quality of thought, no quality of mind consciousness. There are no nidanas from ignorance to old age and death, nor their wearing out. There is no suffering, no cause of suffering, no ending of suffering, and no path, no wisdom, no attainment, no non-attainment. Therefore, since there is no attainment, the bodhisattvas abide by means of transcendent knowledge. And since there is no obscurity of mind, they have no fear, they transcend falsity and pass beyond the bounds of sorrow. All the Buddhas who dwell in the past, present, and future, by means of transcendent knowledge, fully and clearly awaken to unsurpassed, true, complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of transcendent knowledge, the mantra of deep insight, the unsurpassed mantra, the unequaled mantra, the mantra which calms all suffering should be known as truth, for there is no deception. In transcendent knowledge, the mantra is proclaimed, Tayato Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhisoha. O Shariputra, This is how a Bodhisattva Mahasattva should learn profound transcendent knowledge. Then the Blessed One arose from that samadhi and praised the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara, saying, Good, good, O son of noble family, profound transcendent knowledge will be practiced just as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, Shariputra and Avalokiteshvara, that whole gathering in the world with its gods, humans, asuras, and gandharvas, their hearts full of joy, praised the words of the Blessed One. Refuge in Bodhisattva vow, or generating bodhicitta, it says in the title. We recite this 3 times. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today, in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. So we are usually doing 1 round of Om Mani Padme Hum. You could think of whatever you want to think of, mostly compassionate. And, or you can silently go inward, watch the breath, and maybe relax your face muscles and quietly close your eyes and start the beginning of a smile and see what happens to the rest of your mind when you do that. Just the beginning, you're about to smile. Okay. It's changing. This is from His Holiness. Or Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Buenas noches. Om Mani Padme Hum. So, in Nicholas's Venerable Vreeland's absence, we'll go through the Lamrim selectively with an emphasis on practice and an emphasis on bodhicitta. Different modern ways of developing bodhicitta. But first, as we do every time I start, the 12th month of the Water Dog Year, a poem written by the 7th Dalai Lama, Losang Kesang Gyatso. And what is this? This is meditation. Nikki says, we're meant to meditate, we're meant to do this. He sees what's going on, he reflects from his inner knowledge of the teachings. We'll go verse by verse, since you don't have this text anyway. Each verse, comment on. You want to interrupt? Interrupt. Who cares? But stop talking when I'm interrupting. Never mind. So it's called the 12th month of the Water Dog Year, whatever that is in the Tibetan calendar. It's something where there's, it's summer. So whatever that is. Better? So this is a meditator sitting there. It's him, sort of biographical in some ways. Outside. And he says, the marigolds blooming in the gardens, embellishing the entire estate, to dust are reduced when come winter's piercing storms. Now, while radiantly beautiful, they should be offered to the objects of refuge. And now he shifts from the outer to the reflection. One may cherish property and wealth gained by cunning means, but one day all one's possessions will fall to others' hands. Now, while you have power over them, use them to benefit the world. Basically what? Impermanence is here. See how reality triggers their inner reflection because they have a good background. And this is the way we could work. We see things happening, we reflect instantly. You don't, without making a big deal of doing this. So, the next verse, if no one has any comment, we'll move on. No one has any objection? Overruled. The fully grown turquoise dragon, I think he means a dragonfly. I would think, who knows, when the turquoise dragon, unless it's a new electric car, who knows? But the fully grown turquoise dragon with 3 powers roaring loudly, I don't know what the 3 powers are, loses its strength to cry out when summer comes to an end. It flies through the heavens now. It should beat its summer drum hard, now shifting to the reflection. Talking of worldly manners, one can easily speak for long, but soon will come the day when the path of breath must close. The tongue is flexible now. Use it to recite mystic mantras. He's giving you a big hint of mortality. The flexible tongue. It's not going to be flexible when the elements dissolve. And so, so make use of what you have. Okay? We'll continue. The billowing clouds of gray at present high in the sky, to all directions are blown when comes a gust of wind. Now, while they have the chance, they should pour down their essence. We are much attracted to this body, made from the sperm and egg of others. But one day we must drop it, like feces when we empty our bowels. Now you have a form of infinite potential. Make it a servant to spiritual practice. And that's a little heavy hitting there, because we're in a very good position having a human body. Instead, we get possessive of it. We think it's going to last forever. We spend a lot of money in Dwayne Reed or whatever with cosmetics. I'm talking about the guys. It happens, you know, but this is very temporary. And when it hurts, you don't like it. But it does. It's always got something going on that's not pleasant. Let's get real. So he's trying to grab your collar and tell you, this is what's really going on. This is not what you project that's going on. This is what's really going on. The river, so sparklingly clear, meanders lazily over the plains. One day it'll disappear, leaving behind not a drop of water. Now, while it flows with strength, it should be used to irrigate the fields. They work the various magical crafts for harming others and benefiting oneself. But one day these methods are forgotten, and even their names are lost to darkness. Now, while your mind burns clear and strong, meditate on the teachings vast and profound. All right, we don't have a problem with magical. Nobody's that kind of a yogi like Milarepa who could kill people with mantras and stuff. We can't do that. We would like to at certain times. But anyway, he's giving you what is important and what is not. And the primacy of the spiritual path is what he's talking about. Merchants come from the north and the south to gather in the trading center. But after 3 days have passed, each goes his separate way, like a festival or whatever. Meeting for but a flash in time. They should avoid fights and fancies hooked by karmas from previous lives. Love and hatred run fierce. But soon we all go our own ways, and each takes his suited rebirth. Right now, abandon interpersonal discrimination made on the basis of attachment and aversion. You're in equanimity. He's bringing out that point, if you remember. And he's telling you what's the use. This is people you don't like now are temporary. The close friends you had in school and high school will never part. Some of them we can't even remember their names. I don't remember mine. Now the most important verse, and this is a lot of depth to it. The pale autumn moon hovers over us, hovers above us, high above us in space. Yet down here on the face of the earth, it cooled scorching and tortured beings. O source of physical and mental delight, forever send down refreshing white light. One's wish that others be happy exists only in one's own mind. Yet it benefits other as well as oneself, in all times and situations, thereby abandon faults of body and speech and conceive the sublimely altruistic thought, bodhicitta. So how is this possible? That something that goes on in your mind benefits all beings at all times in all ways. What do you think? And that's a heavy statement. Brings out what? Connectivity. Whether we like it or not, we are connected. People whose names we don't even know, maybe. So, and it benefits you. So a big plug for bodhicitta, because we're going to emphasize bodhicitta quite a bit, more elaborately. But it seems to be the central verse. Then he goes on to emptiness now. So first he brings up impermanence, things like that. He does it nicely, with painkillers. The Naga King's all-powerful gem. The Nagas are people quite wealthy, some of them. Even though I don't know what they classify them as, animals or spirits, but they're wealthy, etc. They have gems. It shows partiality to no man or no human, but he who propitiates the Naga King with rituals and offerings has the objects of his yearnings fall into his very hands. This is their own folklore. You want to be wealthy, you do a Naga ceremony, etc., and there's a special jewel that they have that you wash and worship, etc., blah, blah. Now he says that's the material world. The Guru, Lord of three perfect kayas, is above liking or disliking disciples. Yet whoever concentrates upon him or her with unfluctuating appreciation actualizes the happiness of this and future lives. Again, the transcendent. Transcendent versus wrestling it. So, due to the effects, now he's talking about emptiness. Due to the effects of an eye disease, the sky fills with kaleidoscopic fantasies. But when medicine is applied and the disease is overcome, the hallucinations of themselves disperse and clear space nakedly appears. Oh, I could see. Thanks, God. Wow. When the ghost of eye-holding haunts you, eye-holding, ego, thinking you're solid and separate, that's a false thought. It's not borne out by analysis, but we have it. When the ghost of eye-holding haunts you, countless illusions automatically appear. Stand in the mental posture which slashes through intellectual garbage and watch the visions of ultimate truth topple habitual thought patterns. When you see reality, you realize everything going on in your mind was BS, was false. Everyone is speaking the same language, inherent existence. So we get along, but that's not what reality is. Don't look at me, I'm right in here with the rest of it. But that's the story. A thing shining from the face of the sky must be unreal. Yet look at a marble, a rainbow hovering over a mountain, insubstantial yet manifest. That's a big point. You have to think that way. Things aren't solid. We're hooked on solidity. Insubstantial yet manifest. A relative thing of causes and conditions. Certain causes, the rainbow shows up. How nice. If one really searches, nothing substantial is found. Yet witness the apparitions around us. He's shifting now to reality, which perform so many functions. Mental imputation on the cause, the conditions, and the composite. Mark, what theme is this?
What theme is this?
Yes, the fact that something insubstantial can still do what? Cause things.
Yes.
There's emptiness. It's not inherent, but things happen. In fact, that's the only way things happen. When the elements are not inherently existent, there's motion, there's cohesion, there's activity. Otherwise, everything's frozen. Our minds freeze things unrealistically. That's the problem. In a flowing world, we have to think this, now it's that, now it's this. It causes crap and trouble. Nothing real stands, the last verse, I'll get you all. Nothing real stands behind an echoed sound. Still, when one's voice unexpectedly echoes in the stomach of a cave, the mind jumps with great strength. Similarly, this string of empty words has no ultimate essence, no ultimate power or meaning, yet maybe will also affect humankind, whose nature also in illusion is bound. He's speaking inherent existence to get you out of it. There's nothing real, there's nothing. The words are all designated by people conveniently coming together, conventionally convening on a meaning, that's that. So this is borne out by your study. So do you have the problem? Then you have the problem, it's hard to study, it's hard to read, I lose my concentration and stuff. Nobody has that problem? You decide to read something, then it flows. I can't put it down. Does that happen, Bunky? Why is this? And what can we do to correct it? You correct it with the power of compassion, leading to bodhicitta. You could do, for instance, the Penn Station method of generating bodhicitta, or the subway method, whatever. Wretched of the world come before you, really stinking, shaking, really poor. And you want to help them, but you know you can't right now. So the thought you should generate is, like a doctor, I have to go to medical school, I have to get specialty before I can really cure people, before I can really help sick people. Right now, I'm studying for that purpose, and I'm going to come, you won't be in the same form when I'm a Buddha, maybe, I won't be in the same form, but I'm coming for you, and that's the power you use, you activate that. Say, I can't let those people down, let me study at least a little, do my best. As you get used to that thought, it starts to automatically go off in you. You reach for the book without having to motivate yourself, based on all this misery that's going on. And look at yourself, we have suffering too. You know, unless we know suffering, we can't generate compassion. And we got to know it well. You know, what's the word? Permutations. Right? So, and another thing, sometimes we hear lectures and stuff, and I don't know if this is true or not. That's a big point. You know, you're sort of not into it because I'm not sure. The only way to combat that is to study. Take your time and logically not only study, but think quietly on your own. Nothing formal. Little 2-minute clips throughout the day. You'll change. It helps. And that's why we have the Lam Rim. And all the presentations of all the Buddhist schools have the equivalent of a Lam Rim. Sequential presentation of things you can handle now, but can't handle yet in the future, the emptiness doctrine, etc. The most difficult of the two wings for enlightenment, you know, bodhicitta and is bodhicitta. Not hard to understand the concept, but very hard to condition the mind to have it spontaneously come up. But once it does, it outpaces everything. The emptiness will come. I heard His Holiness say this in Wisconsin in 1981. Emptiness will come, don't worry. But compassion, loving kindness, when he banged that, and everybody gave him a hand. Because everyone knows emptiness is not that easy. Let's try compassion. It looks easy. Let's try bodhicitta. It's a nice thought, but it's hard to condition yourself to it. The instructions are here. And you don't know what you were in a past life. Maybe you were pretty good in a past life. Now you're reawakening these things because the mind goes back. The mind was always and will always be around. You don't like that? Or do you? So this book that I'm going to use lately, it's the most modern presentation. It's Practicing the Path by Yangtze Rinpoche, who was a student of Geshe Sopa. He's a Larampa Geshe. In his previous life, he was Geshe Sopa's guru. They go back and forth, like Rinpoche and Ling Rinpoche. So, and I guess it'll continue, and Rinpoche is found, Ling Rinpoche will be his tutor again, we hope. So the book is very good. I'm not going to go through the whole thing and see what time we have. We got time. We have to realize that one of the basic themes he brings up right away is that the minds we're working with now are under the control of karma and contaminated karma and delusion. contaminated karma, we did certain things, and we can't understand certain things because of it, etc. We are not in control of ourselves. Our past karma sometimes is real good and we make progress. Sometimes a bad seed germinates and we have problems. There's techniques to handle all those situations, which the Lamrim presents. And it said that Buddhas are motivated by what? By compassion. We're motivated by ignorance. We're basically run, not motivate, but run, more or less, under dominion of, a better word, of ignorance. And we don't see what's really there. Everyone is in the same boat, so it works. So, what is Lama Zopa had a nice comment. I underlined everything with that. Well, that was his comment. Yeah, everything's on the. So, what the Lamrim is and why it's good, the standard presentation is that if you study the Lamrim, you'll know how to classify all of Buddha's teachings. Because Buddha taught to the audience that was there. Very simple people, he presented something. Sometimes he says, there's a self. Later on, there's no self. Well, there is, but it's like this, but there's totally no self. It's graduated based on the composition of the audience. And we would say a good teacher breathes in the audience, breathes out the teachings. So you could get confused. He says in this sutra there's no self. Over here he says there is. Make up your mind, I'm going to turn on the radio. I'm going to turn on music. Anything. That's the problem. So you don't have that problem with the Lamrim. It's a sequential presentation. You realize that every word here is meant for practice. It's not just palaver or intellectual proposition. It's not the classic Western philosophy. Some Western, not all. According to the teachings of the Buddha, I'm going to read now from page 3 a little bit. According to the teachings of the Buddha, the way things ordinarily appear to our minds is fundamentally mistaken. So we're looking at mistaken. Mm-hmm. Problems, difficulties, and hardships arise in our lives because of these basic misconceptions, because we are not able to see things the way they actually are. You think that's true, or is that a lot of baloney? True? It's true? Well, I can see things how they are. I know how to get to 31st Street and 30th Street, and I know how to get to June.
Yes, but that's only by common agreement that we...
Yay! That's true. We're all speaking the same way. And common, our mental posture determines what actually we visually see, what we hear. We're bound. Things like that. So you'll learn, the more you improve the mind and the more you get deeper into these subjects, you'll have faculties that you didn't have before. So they say, I don't, but that's where you learn clairvoyance, you learn other things, control of your blood system, etc. So there's a reason. According to Buddhism, we perceive things and events in our lives from a totally obscured perspective. What we experience from this perspective is known as, you said it, conventional existence. Understand? All of our problems arise because we grasp the conventional nature of things as being ultimately true. This is it. It's the way things are. How come we're not blissful? Wait a minute. They talk about, hey, I want my money. Really? You agree? You don't agree? You don't care? Congratulations. I've signed up for your, what's the word? There's a word for that in Hindi. It's a celebration. It's a blessing, right? I forgot the name. It's going to be a Hindu ceremony. Rob's getting married. He's joining with Amrita, the nectar of long life. Salud. So we grasp things that aren't there as ultimately true, and we run with that. We freeze things. Think about it. Everything is flowing all the time, but yet we think this guy's the same guy as it was 2 seconds ago. This is that, that's this. Nothing is connected, but everything is and flowing. But we don't, because our minds are too weak to go with that. We have to break everything down to this, then that, and this, and then we're freezing time. We're disregarding flow of time, which is right in our face. I mean, and we act as if it doesn't count. Oh, I'll never get old, I'll never do this. Come on. There's the problem. So, therefore, he says, Buddhist philosophy is not just intellectual thought or theory. The Buddhist point of view is ultimately the antidote to all our pain and problems. Its foremost objective is to eliminate the suffering in our minds. Minds are going to be the theme of this book. Everything is the mind. I have a little note here, which will let me skip ahead to page 451. Dun-dun-dun. Well, he really comes out with something very bold. And I'll ask a question. He gets into the Baba Viveka and, Candrakirti arguments and this and that, but we don't, we're going to do that. What is our biggest problem? Does anyone know? Close, warm. You're getting warm. Where does the delusions exist? Where do they live? In your refrigerator? No. In our lives, our minds are our biggest problem. And our best friend, too. Like the Marines. No worse enemy, no better friend. Seriously. He said that the reason is because our minds make so many mistakes in the way they relate to the external world. The solution to this is to refine and improve the mind's relationship with its objects. See them for what they are. This is the sole method for establishing stable and enduring happiness. That's it. There's nothing else. Stop mistaking reality. And even if there's only one person in the whole world working hard, persevering in generating the experience of the realization of emptiness, this one person has the potential to eliminate suffering for countless other sentient beings. So we're dealing in high stakes here. We're all high rollers in the game of life. That's page 451 of this.
How is that so?
How is it so? Yes, let's hear it.
I'm asking.
How? Because this person will become a Buddha. And the Buddha then knows how to create situations that will draw people in. Knows how to appear in a certain form. Oh, what's that? And plants a seed in the mind. The mind gets a seed, it carries. Everything in the mind travels. And it's going to have an effect. So again, like the Bodhisattva thought, how does this thought that exists only in your own mind benefit others and yourself? It's something to think about. Something to carry around, when you forgot your phone and you're on the bus, you make up these situations.
So can you see what the name of the book is again?
The name of the book, ladies and gentlemen, is Practicing the Path. Very good. No, it's excellent. I've watched some, Yangtze Rinpoche teaches now in Maitrepa College in, was it Portland? Portland, Oregon. It's in the FPMT umbrella. Nikki knew him in India. He was very, very respectful of Chungla Rinpoche. I don't know how close they were. I don't know much about it. Nikki didn't come out with any more information than that. As I said, I really like this guy. I got Nikki a copy of the books to get his comment. And he'll give it. But he said, no, extremely impressed with Chungla Rinpoche. Most people aren't. No, who's this guy? But he right away, maybe because he was Geshe Sopa's student and the two of them were close. I don't know. But he recently was here in New York. This past winter, he was at the Shanti Davis, and it's on tape. It's on YouTube. You could get him on YouTube. He has a whole series there. And his student, a nun named Losang Yonten, is excellent. She's been a nun maybe 21, 22 years. Originally from Montana, taught a long time in Australia, in the FBMT umbrella. She's here, and her talks are very good, very down to earth, and yet deep. She's well read. She has Tibetan, because when she in her background, because when she mentions a word, she could be the Tibetan word, etc. A very good 5-part presentation on the Wheel of Sharp Weapons, among other things. Very good presentation of the White Tara Sadhana. I think it's 3 or 4 said. Excellent, very clear, very humorous. So Losang Yonten, Content is good quality. Hey. So the mind is the key, that's that. We're skipping now to page 5. Most of us actually have the wish to benefit sentient beings. What do you do when you see people suffering like that? You can't go up to some of the people that are totally crazy. You just put them in your mind, I'm coming for you in the future. Like a medical doctor. Why don't you go out and help the sick? You're sitting in school all day long, 6 years, 8 years, whatever it takes, through the specialty. But when they come out, what can they do? A lot. When we reach certain levels, what could we do? A lot more than we can now. We do feel frustrated sometimes. I wish I could help them. You can give them a few bucks, but it's not, that's not going to change their life. But you want to. Use that desire to help them to power your practice. It's easy. It's fun. It doesn't cost anything. So most of us actually have the wish to benefit sentient beings. We pray and we meditate on compassion and bodhicitta and so forth. But ultimately, if we don't uproot our self-cherishing mind even a little, no matter how much we meditate on kindness, the only benefit we will receive is a good feeling. It feels good. Well, that's not bad. I could use some good feelings. This applies to any kind of long retreat, listening to teachings, as well as taking any of the 3 classes of vows, pratimoksha, bodhicitta, tantra, etc. In general, everyone has some wish to benefit others, some wish to make their lives useful. But in order to actually accomplish this, we must let go of our sense of self-importance. We must let go of our sense of self-importance. Ego grasping is the greatest obstacle to the wish to benefit others. There's the culprit. The more we can diminish the self-cherishing mind, the purer and more fruitful our wish to benefit others will become. So imagine this. If you're not holding on to yourself, to every little thing, everything is protecting this, bringing in this, that thing is not occupying your mind, you're really more open and you're seeing more. And you're more relaxed, naturally. You're not holding the fort. There's no fort to hold. You're connected to them already. What do you think? Mark is thinking.
I think that sounds good.
Oh, good. Mark's thinking.
I'll sign up for it.
All right. Thank you, please, Mr. Jerry. And you get a T-shirt for signing up as a new member.
I was thinking about your comments on the mind and made me wonder to ask, where is the reading, maybe once again, about consciousness as the horse and rider?
The standard tantric presentation. Why they, like a horse, the horse can run fast but doesn't know where to go. The rider can't run fast but knows where to go. That is always the case. Whenever there is a consciousness, there is an energy powering it. It's not that sometimes they join together. That's the theory of Tantra. So in the sutra, you work with the consciousness. In the Tantra, you're working with energies because certain energies pull certain minds. That's about all I know, and I'm not a person who's been schooled in Tantra. So sure Nikki has, I don't think he went to Tantric school, no, but he gets a lot. I just know it's from books, but that's the general theory of it. And it works, a certain music will pull a certain mood out of you for a while. So then all of a sudden, for a while. And then the consciousness gets rid of it. But that's the point. So always think that way, because that's always what's going on. Horse and rider.
Yeah, I was having intrusive doubts, not about any of this per se, but just like the natural, thinking about some people who've gone, and where do they go? And what part of them goes and trying to wanting to materialize, I guess, even just their...
People who died, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes, well that's because we're not schooled, of course. At least, it's a good sign. We're realizing our ignorance. The ego doesn't want to be ignorant. It knows everything. As soon as it finds a little thing, so yeah, that's what that means. It puts its own meaning on it. You have to be careful when you study. That's why a good teacher around is helpful. So, the more we can diminish our self-cherishing, the purer and more fruitful our wish to benefit others will become. So this is, by the way, the book is very oriented to personal practice. I mean, you can take a few lines and think about them for an hour or whatever, on and off, or understand them, and they'll come up. There's power in these words. They will come up whether you like it or not in your dreams, your daydreams, your wandering thoughts. There is a certain power of the base, which helps. Like when you say prayers to the Buddha, even your mind's distracted, there's some benefit. You'll get more benefit for you. But there's some benefit because of the power of the base. And may all beings who see me be benefited. Things like when they make that vow before they're Buddhas. That helps. So that's what I rely on, the power of the base. So trying to become aware of exactly how much we are cherishing ourselves is the perfect practice for the beginner. What do you mean I cherish myself? So now, again, we're going inward. We're not worrying about who's this and that. We're going inward. Coming to the recognition of the depth and grossness of our self-cherishing mind early on in the path is essential. Essential. What are we dealing with? Let's get right down to the base of the source of the root of the problem. Perhaps rather than doing so many sessions of deity yoga, it would be more useful for us to do a session meditating on the way we have promoted the self-cherishing mind in the past, a session on how much we are promoting the self-cherishing mind at the moment, and a session on how we plan to promote self-cherishing mind in the future. We don't sit there and say, I'm going to promote my mind. It just comes naturally. So we have to pick out these wandering thoughts that are actually doing that job. We have to look in. We have to have some time. We don't have to sit like this or anything to do it while we're wandering about in the street. But we have to start what's going on in the mind. It's the key to everything. The worst enemy and the thing that'll free you. So it's both. This would be extremely a good way to start ourselves off on the path. Okay. It is very easy for us to recognize the way in which someone else is cherishing themselves. We're good at that. But it is also very easy for us to forget that we are doing the same thing. We can go into detail, but it might be a little, cringeworthy. We don't want to have you cringing. And I don't want to be. However, the fact that we are capable of recognizing self-cherishing in others shows that we are indeed capable of seeing it. So that same mechanism, and then you just turn it around. Flip your camera from there to self-portrait. Therefore, we only have to change the object from another person to ourselves. When we are able to do that, we have the basis upon which we can train our minds. The big yoga that we do, you change now, look in.
Did he begin by saying exactly what self-cherishing is?
Not yet. This goes on. This is the overture to the opera. You'll see all the themes come back and be embellished and reorchestrated. And the snoring of the audience, you'll hear that. The objective of Lama Tsongkhapa's Lamrim Chenmo, or the great treatise on the stages of the path to enlightenment, is to eliminate the self-cherishing mind. Once that objective is in focus, we can begin on the path to liberation and enlightenment. This section is called Introduction to the Text. So it is like an overture. It's giving you what you're in for. And he's giving you the methods to teach the Lamrim. I've done it many times. He said, that's one thing you do. Say, here, he has a little paragraph I should read. Let me clarify one point. I do not mean to say that I myself am this kind of perfect practitioner. There's Chungla Rinpoche's constant theme, right? I'm not claiming anything. I'm exactly the same of you. I see another person's self-cherishing quite clearly, but I'm unaware of how it manifests in my own actions of body, speech, and mind. Therefore, I would like to make it clear that I am not giving this commentary on this text because I am confident that I have understood it and can practice it, or because I feel that I know all the intricate details of the Lamrim. Rather, I'm going on the strength of the faith and trust that since this is the wish of our teacher, Lama Zopa Rinpoche had fulfilled some necessity and thereby will have some beneficial result. He's doing a lot there, besides what we look at as self-effacing. But he's giving the idea that I'm with you, I'm the same, I've been there. And I'm following the guidance of Lama Zopa. He's as good as, in my opinion, Lama Zopa, but that's a big thing. I don't know really, but pretty good. So that's very sweet, and when somebody like Rinpoche does it, you feel more relaxed. You feel that this is attainable, that something here is doable. It's not, he's up there, and you hold your breath. That doesn't work. That makes you, there's a lot going on there when you do that. Adoring a person and showing with deep respect when you know their qualities thoroughly, that's different. But when you're just projecting everyone else, oh, he smiled at me. Oh, I was happy for him. I don't know. You know, in this presentation, everything is reason, not emotion. So then he, of course, does what everybody else does. Recites Buddha's thing about bhikkhus. You don't accept my teachings, like you buy gold, you do this, you do that. So he's saying these words, this is page 8, advise us to check the validity of the Buddha Dharma before accepting any of these practices as our own path. So the way you go is you first must understand, then practice. So a skeptical attitude is not wrong now. It's healthy. If you follow it up, then leave it like that. That's no good, that's no. But if you follow it up, how could this be true? What is he talking about? I don't know. Something like that is a very healthy attitude. And actually the fastest way to progress. This is an important point, and we should take care to do this to the best of our ability. We can test the validity of the teachings by examining whether or not those that are categorized as the actual presentation can be faulted by valid cognition, whether or not those that are categorized as slightly hidden can be faulted by inferential valid condition, and whether or not those that are categorized as extremely hidden phenomena can be faulted by the inferential cognition of belief. That's a tough one, but we all know it. Manifest, you don't have to understand. We see this, we see that. The conventional reality, that's fine. Doctrine of emptiness is very easy to understand by inference. Realizing it's something else, but understanding it, in theory, is not that hidden. You have to infer it from these things, and you could logically say, oh, yes, I could see, yes. That's the most important presentation of Buddhism. The idea of the very hidden things, subtle, ways karma manifests. For instance, someone gave a crystal rosary to the Buddha walking by, suddenly he became Tsongkhapa years later, So he gave an apple to someone, he became an emperor 10 lives later. Only a Buddha knows that. Now, how can we believe the Buddha? Well, the Buddha did not lie about the most important doctrine, emptiness. There's no reason for him to lie when he says, so-and-so gave me an apple and now he'll be a universal king, something like that. That's how we work. That's Chungla's advice. So that's very hidden, but that's not our problem right now. We don't care who did what and got a Maserati or something, We do, but I want to know how you get one. But in general, So that's that, So there are 4 methods by which the Lamrim teachings are commonly presented. The first method, which is recommended for beginners, is known as direct explanation. In this method of presentation, the teacher clarifies each point of the outline explicitly and in detail, in order to help the student develop a clear and complete understanding. A faultless understanding is essential to fruitful meditation, and it doesn't come immediately. We all know this. Because we have an understanding and we're pretty good, but then a little more examination, we grow a little, a couple of months later, I see what he really meant now. I thought I knew, but now I don't. That's very healthy to hear internally. That's nice. That's wonderful. I'm checking the time as always. It's commonly said that we should begin the path by listening extensively, by reading too, or watching the YouTubes, etc. We have so much now. All these great teachers appear and give live teachings or archive teachings. Wonderful. From this listening, we can develop an understanding of the teachings, and through this understanding, we can cultivate meditation. There is no food for meditation if we do not have understanding, and there is no understanding if we have not listened. Okay? The second method of presenting the Lamrim, which we don't have because we don't have a living teacher that runs around and lives in a center and you see him every day. The teacher points out the faults and mistakes in the mind of the student directly and then teaches their antidotes. That's really one-on-one. That, occurs if everybody hangs out, and Rinpoche used to be at the center every day, 7 days a week on 28th Street. People would show up and he would get to know them, and they would, no, why do you do that? You should do that. No. Did you stop smoking? Did you stop drinking? Things like that. Third method, the teacher gives instruction based on his or her own spiritual experience and realization of the subjects. Well, they all do that. Accomplished lamas that are sent here, for the most part, know what they're talking about. The fourth method of presentation is the gradual method. A student being trained in this manner may first be instructed on the subject of precious human rebirth and then sent away to meditate upon it. We can't do that here. It's not like we're in India and you can go to the shack and meditate for a few weeks, come back, and what did you learn? Okay, now meditate on this. We don't have that here. We have working days and everything else. So we have to... Until the student shows signs of having generated a complete experience of that subject, the next topic will not be taught. This method takes months and years, for which we don't have time. He says it right. Yay! I always liked this guy. This commentary will be given primarily according to the first method of presentation, known as direct explanation. Okay, remember? So that's what we're going to get. Then he goes on the history of the Lamrim, which... if you want to learn the Lamrim, that's fine. Well, what time? We don't have time to go through the next topic. 5 preeminent qualities. Well, maybe we do. The Lamrim Chenmo is praised for possessing 5 preeminent qualities. Okay? The first is its manner of explanation, that it contains Manjushri's explanations on renunciation, bodhicitta, and wisdom, and that this subject matter is further enriched by the structure of the 3 scopes as presented in Lama Atisha's Path to Enlightenment. The beginner, the middle, and the highest practice. The beginning practitioner wants to get a good rebirth. Second wants to get out of samsara totally. No matter how high or low you are, you're still in samsara. And the third wants to lead all beings, the bodhisattva path. And that path leads to Buddhahood. Actually, there's one path. They all flow into each other. Where you see how we divide, when they're not really not a division in terms of learning. The highest person is based on the lowest realization, and then the next, and the next. So that's it. There's one vehicle. There's a big argument. I think the mind-only school thinks there are 3. Shravakas, Pratyeka Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas. But no, they all flow into one. Because according to Prasangika, at the highest school, they'll be roused, these people that are in complacent peace, here is solitary realize, will be roused out of it and forced to go into the bodhisattva path, and it takes longer for them to become full Buddhas because they're so used to self-benefiting, not benefiting others. They didn't turn their portrait thing. They still, out to the world. Second is of the text, unmistaken order in which the topics are set. You accomplish this, you'll find it very easy to accomplish the next one. There is an order and there's a reason. Unmistaken order in which the topics are set forth. Or set fifth, I don't know, set forth. They're presented. The perfections go that way. The easiest to practice is first, the hardest is last. You can't do the perfection of wisdom without a calm mind, a cheerful attitude, patience, generosity to give you the nice physical surroundings, etc., ethics to calm the mind so you can concentrate, and be patient. So that's very important. Third quality is the excellence of those who requested that it be taught. This request This refers to disciples, Lama Tsongkhapa, who resound for their knowledge, their et cetera, and so forth. But all the groups who claim that, the Kagyus, whatever, good for them. Fourth quality is the auspiciousness of the place where it was written. Reading Monastery. This is the Lamrim specifically, not all graded paths. That's it. So that's nice. That's nice to know. This is cheering for the home school. Again, T-shirts come in. All kinds of merch. So, how to teach the Lamrim? Well, we're not ready to teach the Lamrim. So we have 5 minutes left. A minute or two for the prayers. Any comments, complaints? You want to go in a different direction? You want to hear about Milarepa? We can do that. We have comments from the.
No, just names.
Oh, just names. Yes, the 2 politicians shot in Minnesota. We have to connect these teachings to the world. And the more you do, you realize how bad off people who are, actually, like sad. Tal Moshkovitz, Air India crash victims, the Iranian-Israeli missile attack. It's silly. I remember my father was, during World War II, he told me, and I was born in World War II, I don't remember this. He said the guys were talking in Rosetto's liquor store where he hung out on McDougal Street. What's going to happen? Germany, Japan, what are they going to do after the war? And then one guy said, they're going to shake hands and do business. And that's exactly what happens. Look, they shook hands, they did business. There's a European Union now. Japan's doing rather well after the war. This will happen too. Why are they going so crazy? But how do you tell people under the bombs that this is going to... It's futile. His Holiness said war is outdated.
Except that the Iranian regime is not Japan or Germany. They have a much more...
They're just as crazy. Japan's pretty fanatical.
Right. So
Fanatical.
they are...
Fanatical?
They are fanatics on every side.
On every side.
Netanyahu was just as fanatical.
They're both. This is problem. The problem is ignorance. It's not the package it comes in. It's the idea that you're going to bomb the crap out of everybody and that's going to be it. No, there's an ever-flowing time span. You're going to come back paying for that. I don't know. It's not time to preach this to the world. They're not ready to listen. A Buddha would do something to divert them, to change this some way, and then gradually over many lives they'll change. Because they're going to have to. It's outdated.
We'll have to do it on a different planet.
I think so, because as long as Musk is not there, we don't want to go to a place where he... No, but it's very sad. I don't know. And the people are so similar in the Middle East. They're very similar. You don't eat pork, we don't eat pork, as one Jewish comedian said. Why can't we be friends? I don't know. I know the people who come here are very sweet and very nice people, seem to be drawn to Buddhism or spirituality in general. You want to be around them, but they seem to be fewer and fewer. They're not running the world, that's for sure. So the following names: Melissa Hartman, Mark Hartman, Tal Moshkovitz, the India crash victims, and all those people, women, children, men, under the bombs, under the ordnance. So in the Sutra of the Recollection of Noble Three Jewels, I prostrate to the Omniscient One, thus the Buddha, Bhagavat, Tathagata, Arahat, Samyak Sambuddha, the learned and virtuous one, the Sugata, the knower of the world, the charioteer and tamer of beings, the unsurpassable one, the teacher of devas and humans is the Buddha Bhagavat. Tathagata is in accord with all merit. He does not waste the roots of virtue. He is completely ornamented with all patience. He is the basis of the treasures of merit. He is adorned with the minor marks. He blossoms with the flowers of the major marks. His activity is timely and appropriate. Seeing him, he is without disharmony. True joy to those who long with faith. His knowledge cannot be overpowered. His strengths cannot be challenged. He is the teacher of all sentient beings. He is the father of bodhisattvas. He is the king of noble ones. He is the guide of those who journey to the city of nirvana. He possesses immeasurable wisdom. He possesses inconceivable confidence. His speech is completely pure. His melody is pleasing. One never has enough of seeing him. His form is incomparable. He's not stained by the realm of desire. He's not stained by the realm of form. He's not affected by the formless realm. He is completely liberated from sufferings. He is completely and utterly liberated from the skandhas. He is not possessed with dhatus. His ayatanas are controlled. He has completely cut the knots. He is completely liberated from extreme torment. He is liberated from craving. He has crossed over the river. He is perfected in all the wisdoms. He abides in the wisdom of the Buddha Bhagavats who arise in the past, present, and future. He does not abide in nirvana. He abides in the ultimate perfection. He dwells on the bhumi where he sees all sentient beings. All these are the perfect virtues of the greatness of the Buddha Bhagavat. The holy Dharma is good at the beginning, good in the middle, and good at the end. Its meaning is excellent. Its words are excellent. It is uncorrupted. It is completely perfect and completely pure. It completely purifies. The Bhagavat teaches the Dharma well. It brings complete vision. It is free from sickness. It is always timely. It directs one further. Seeing it fulfills one's purpose. It brings discriminating insight for the wise. The Dharma, which is taught by the Bhagavat, is revealed properly in the Vinaya. It is renunciation. It causes one to arrive at perfect enlightenment. It is without contradiction. It is pithy. It is trustworthy and puts an end to the journey. As for the Sangha of the great jnana, they enter in sight. They enter straight quality. They enter straight quality harmoniously. They are worthy of joined palms. They are worthy of receiving prostration. They are a field of glorious merit. They are completely capable of receiving all gifts. They are an object of generosity. They are a great object of complete generosity. The protector who possesses great kindness, the omniscient teacher, the basis of oceans of merit and virtue, I prostrate to the Tathagata. Pure, the cause of freedom from passion, virtuous, liberating from the lower realms. This alone is the supreme ultimate truth. I prostrate to the Dharma, which is peace. Having been liberated, they show the path to liberation. They are fully dedicated to the disciplines. They are a holy field of merit and possess virtue. I prostrate to the Sangha. I prostrate to the Buddha, the leader. I prostrate to the Dharma, the protector. I prostrate to the Sangha, the community. I prostrate respectfully and always to these three. The Buddha's virtues are inconceivable. The Dharma's virtues are inconceivable. The Sangha's virtues are inconceivable. Having faith in these inconceivables, therefore the fruitions are inconceivable. May they be born in a completely pure realm. So 8 verses for training the mind. Ready? With the determination to accomplish the highest welfare of all sentient beings who surpass even a wish-granting jewel, I will learn to hold them supremely dear. Whenever I associate with others, I will learn to think of myself as the lowest amongst all, and respectfully hold others to be supreme in the very depths of my heart. In all actions, I will learn to search into my mind, and as soon as a disturbing emotion arises, endangering myself and others, I will firmly face and avert it. I will learn to cherish ill-natured beings and those oppressed by strong misdeeds and sufferings, as if I had found a precious treasure difficult to find. When others out of jealousy treat me badly, with abuse, slander, and so on, I will learn to take all loss and offer the victory to them. When the one whom I had benefited with great hope unreasonably hurts me very badly, I will learn to view that person as an excellent spiritual guide. In short, I will learn to offer to everyone without exception all help and happiness directly and indirectly, and respectfully take upon myself all harm and suffering of my mothers. I will learn to keep all these practices undefiled by the stains of the 8 worldly concerns, and by understanding all phenomena as light illusions, be released from the bondage of attachment. Prayer for the swift return of Rato Chonla Rinpoche. Exalted wisdom of all victors gathered in a drop, sole refuge manifest in the form of the one wearing saffron robes, Guru Lozang Tubuang Dorje Chang. Please bear witness here today that our prayers may be fulfilled. We beseech the great torch of doctrine, accomplishing from long ago the vast waves of aspirational prayers. Lord of speech of the Victor Lozang's teachings, spreading them to the ends of the earth by means of explanation and practice. Though holding the commitment, I will invite all beings to be my guests in unsurpassed great awakening. Yet you have withdrawn the activities of the form body that serves the welfare of others. Is that worthy of the supreme among beings, the Bodhisattvas? Though impossible for you till cyclic existence's end, to abandon your commitment to liberate all beings, we beseech the new son of Nirmanakaya to swiftly return from the realm of Dharmakaya, brought forth by bodhicitta drawn by 7 steeds. Having reached the far limits of scholarship, religious life, and goodness, please come swiftly as an unrivaled supreme emanation, full holder of the sage's teachings and mysticaling jewel. Return as the glory of Losang Tempe, magnificent truth of the 3 precious jewels, Mahakama, Karmayama, and Sri Mata Devi, and the ocean of Dharma protectors. May you spontaneously fulfill our wish, the swift blossoming of the reincarnation's fresh moonlight face. So that's it for tonight's session. Our next Dharma talk will be 7 o'clock at the parsonage in South Orange, New Jersey. Go to our website for instructions. Refreshments are served. And there will be no Tara this Saturday. This is an off Saturday. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Uncle Buddha, Lord Buddha. So Rob, are you nervous?
Oh, no. No, I'm